Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of AI Raw Power. Today I will tell you a real scary story from the mid-20th century. Sit down and listen. James and Alice were an ordinary couple. They had just moved into an old house in the outskirts after years of city life. The house seemed eerie and mysterious, nestled deep within a dark forest, and had been sold at a suspiciously low price. Despite feeling uneasy, they ignored their instincts, thinking this was a chance to start a peaceful new life. On the first night, Alice felt something was wrong. She heard strange noises coming from the basement, even though it had been locked tight since they moved in. James reassured her, saying it was just the sounds of an old house settling, but Alice couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. She found herself inexplicably drawn to the basement, as if something was calling her. The next day, they decided to explore the basement. Both felt nervous as they unlocked the heavy door. Below was a dark, musty room filled with dust and a pungent moldy smell. In the corner, they found an old chest, locked with a rusted padlock. Though James said they shouldn't open it, Alice's curiosity overpowered her. When the lock was broken, inside the chest lay an ancient journal and a strange knife, with a blade as black as the night. The journal contained frantic, scrawled writings about a mysterious killer who had once lived in the house, tormented by voices in his head that compelled him to murder. The murders had taken place in this very home, and the killer's soul was said to be forever bound to the house. Alice's hands trembled as she read the journal, but what terrified her most was seeing James' name in the final pages. The journal foretold that the killer would be reborn in the body of someone living once the knife was found. And that person was James. James chuckled, brushing off the fear, but in that very moment, he suddenly changed. His eyes became empty, cold. Alice recoiled, sensing the eerie shift in him. James, now seemingly controlled by something else, picked up the knife and looked at Alice with deadly intent. The darkness within James had awakened. He laughed, a chilling sound echoing through the dark basement. Alice panicked, running through the house, but James was no longer the man she knew. He had become a predator, his eyes glowing red like a deranged monster. The chase unfolded through the narrow hallways, between Alice's frantic breaths and James' footsteps growing ever closer. In a moment of desperation, Alice discovered an ancient engraving on the wall of the final room. She quickly realized it was an old seal. If the seal were activated, the killer's soul could be bound once again. But before she could act, James was right behind her. He raised the knife, ready to end her life, but Alice quickly pushed him aside and reached for the seal. A blinding light erupted, and James screamed in agony as the evil spirit was dragged back into the darkness. James collapsed, unconscious, and the house returned to silence. Alice sobbed, looking at James lying there, unsure if he was still alive or if he was lost forever. As she stepped outside the house, one burning question remained in her mind: was the darkness truly sealed, or was it simply waiting for its chance to return?